Last thing I would like to cover in this series of Google Sheet functions are pivot tables. So this is the last way how we can visualize our data set quite nicely and manipulate the data very easily. So let's use the same old subscription and customer data set and create a pivot table on top of this data. So to do so, let's open a new tab and call this the pivot tab. So to create a pivot table, we go into data and then go down to pivot table and select the date range that we want to use. So Google already suggests a few date ranges, and the subscriptions A1 to P10,001 is actually the data set that we want to use. So let's hit that one and then use the existing sheet, location A1. Create. Okay, so it will now do a little bit of work in the background and then gives us the possibility to add rows and columns and values and filters to this table that we have here. So the way we do that is we select a row. So I want to do the created year month as a rows, and as column I would like to use status to see whether a plan is cancelled or not, and as value I'd like to use lifetime value, so how much money did we create in what month, and whether that is from active subscriptions or whether that's from cancelled subscriptions. Okay, so we can then also add filters on top of it. So if I just remove myself, we can, for instance, say we want to filter by any of these values, price being greater than anything. So I don't think that's very applicable right now, but good to know that this is possible. So let's remove that. Okay, so now we have this pivot table, but as you can see, the dates are sorted starting with 2018, the 10th. So that's October, and then it goes to December, and then all of a sudden to July. So as you might have noticed, it's filtering it a bit weird, starting with the ones and not with 10. So we need to clean up our data a little bit. So we're using this column K, and instead of 7, so for July 7th, it should say 07. And this is quite a tricky problem. The way we have to do is we literally have to concatenate a 0 on top of the 7. So to do that, we add a if function that says if E2 is less than 10, then we want to concatenate a 0 with E2, and otherwise we just want to use I2. Okay, so let's see if that works. So this now should say 2020-07. Perfect. So that works nicely. Let's drag that down. Just checking whether if it says 10, it should not say 010. Here we go. So that works all nicely. So now in our pivot table, we should see a good order of 07, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. So now we have this nice pivot table, and we can plot a graph on top of it. Let's do it like this and see how much money we make in what month. So as you can see, that active revenue is going down. The churn of so how much revenue is made from cancelled subscriptions is staying very consistent, but it's very concerning that active revenue is actually going down. So this is obviously a fake data set. So I don't know how realistic this actually is, but this is a quick way for you to visualize your data, to get like a big data set, prop it into a pivot table and add some columns. It's also very easy to add additional columns. Let's say we want to know how much we made from certain plans. Instead of status, we can then say plan ID, and then all of a sudden we know how much money did we make from what plan in what month. Again, we just plot a graph on top of this, and you'll see which plan is actually bringing in the most revenue. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions on pivot tables, or when to use them, how to use them, how to set them up, just let me know, drop a question, and I'm sure we can guide you in the right direction. And otherwise, let me know what else you want to get covered on this topic. Good luck with that, and see you in the next video.